when you can be more confident as an applicant, what that really means is you just show up as the best version of yourself. And as a pre-PT, isn't that what we all want? Like whether it's with an interview, whether it's with the application process, whether it's with classes, don't we want to show up as the best version of ourselves? I mean, if you don't, then maybe this is not the video for you. But if you genuinely are like, you know what, like I want to be able to show up as the best possible version of me. I want schools to see me as an applicant and say, yo, like, we understand who that student is. We know what they bring to the table. We know what they're all about. And we either want them in this program or we don't, right? And confidence is what holds the key to that. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the... Hey, what's up? How you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi. I'm a physical therapist. I'm also one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, where we help you get into physical therapy school without wasting time or money. And so if physical therapy is the profession that you are in love with or you want to get into or you're considering getting into, then this is the right page. And hey, if you find a lot of value in what we share with you here, be sure to share this with your friends. Of course, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the future videos that we do. And we do multiple videos every single week. So just enjoy. And today's training, I want to talk about confidence because it's the one area that I have seen many of the students that we've coached really spend the least amount of time on. And you know, yes, we find ways to feel better about ourselves, whether it's, positive self-talk and all those different things. But I want to take a different angle on confidence today and how to actually build genuine confidence. Because I'm telling you this, when you show up, like when you can be more confident as an applicant, what that really means is you just show up as the best version of yourself. And as a pre-PT, isn't that what we all want? Like whether it's with an interview, whether it's with the application process, whether it's with classes, don't we want to show up as the best version of ourselves? I mean, if you don't, then maybe this is not the video for you. But if you genuinely are like, you know what, like I want to be able to show up as the best possible version of me. I want schools to see me as an applicant and say, yo, like we understand who that student is. We know what they bring to the table. We know what they're all about. And we either want them in this program or we don't, right? And confidence is what holds the key to that. In fact, I've had a number of students that, we've worked with over the past few years who've said, yeah, the last time I applied, I had one or two interviews. And I just remember feeling like they didn't get to see the real me. And what that student is saying is I didn't show up in a way that allowed me to be at my best. I was spending so much time, freaking myself out, maybe trying to remember all of the answers to the questions that I assumed they were going to ask me. I was trying to remember all of them. I was so in my head that I never actually got to show up as the best version of me. So that's why I want to talk about confidence. This is going to be so straightforward. And if you can take what I'm about to share with you and apply it, it'll be a massive game changer. Now, I've talked about confidence before. And the last time I spoke about confidence, I talked about, like making sure to keep the promises that you make to yourself, right? So I can figure basically build self-trust, right? And that's the one area that I've talked about many times before. Like if you can start to build self-trust where you can say to yourself, hey, I'm going to do blank, and you show up with that. So it can be as simple as a workout plan and say, hey, for the next 3 months, I'm going to have this specific workout plan, and you basically follow it. You will, if you keep up with it and you don't drop off, your confidence in yourself will actually skyrocket. And the reason is because you basically made a promise to yourself and you have kept it. Many of the times when our confidence is shot is mainly because we've made promises to ourselves that we don't keep. And so that's the angle that I've talked about in the past. And it's, oh my goodness, that's part one of how to build your confidence. So if you have not done that, if you have not started, keeping the promises that you make to yourself, then please start doing that. But the area that I want to focus on today is competence. Because one thing that a lot of us as students don't really take into account is the fact that confidence comes from competence, right? The more competent you are about something, the more confident you are naturally. Think of all the things that you are good, that very, very well. Think of all the things that you're good at. you're naturally more confident in those areas, right? Look at how Casey and I carry ourselves on video. We've just been doing this for so many years that we are competent when it comes to the pre-PT experience. So we're naturally more confident, right? So as a student, like spending time basically getting better, right? Like spending time becoming a more competent applicant is going to be a major game changer for you. And it'll naturally, your confidence has no option but to improve. So what do I need to become more competent in? I need to become more competent in my awareness or my clarity level on what I should be focusing on for me. Right? Like, because I think a lot of times we spend so much of our time and energy focusing on other students, other pre-PTs, what they're doing, what's worked for them, all that stuff, right? No, spend time on you. Like, what should your game plan be? Like I should be competent on that. Another area is I should be competent about the individual programs I'm applying to. We preach that a lot. Like, please know the schools that you're applying to, know them very, very well. Like, know them very, very, very well. And so that's the second thing. The third thing is I should be competent about the field of physical therapy. How well do I know the field of physical therapy? How much time have I even spent into understanding it? Because if I can know where the profession is now, if I can know where the profession is going, then how much more comfortable would I be having certain conversations with faculty members that relate to the profession that they're in and the profession that I'm trying to get into? So that's something that a lot of students just don't spend time on because they think, oh, well, I just need to only focus on my classes in the GRE, not realizing that in not being competent on those areas, you're like, naturally, you don't have as much confidence because you're not ready for anything. Right. And so the other area is, being competent on how the application process really works. A lot of students find themselves doing what we call shooting in the dark, which means that they're basically guessing. They're hoping their way through the application process, crossing their fingers, copying what everybody else is doing, looking at what their peers are doing, trying to basically say, okay, well, that person's applying, that person's taking the GRE, that's what they did. And we're playing this copycat game, or they're basically spending time doing things last minute, using all the deadlines because they don't know what else to do. And so if they were just if you were to spend time being more competent on how the application process really works, then naturally your confidence level has no option but to get better. Does this make sense so far, y'all? So yes, part one, which is I've spoken about before, is I become more confident as a pre-PT when I learn to keep the promises that I make to myself, right? And that one is solid. Write that down. But number two, I become more confident as a pre-PT when I build my competence level, basically how well I know those areas that I just mentioned. What that means is naturally I just get better. Right. And to be able to do that, like as I'm learning these things, I also have to have three things correct. Number one, I have to have the right mindset. So asking myself, what's the mindset that I need to be in? How do I need to protect my mind if I'm going to show up as the best version of me, right? Number two, the right information. How can I put myself around the information that will always lead me closer to getting into PT school? Pay attention to the stuff that's going in your mind. If you're talking to advisors or family members or other individuals that are like, hey, well, you can give it a shot, but I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, is that information that is helping you get closer, or is it increasing your doubt in your ability to get into PT school? Because if it's not getting you closer to your dream, then that's information that needs to change. So you have to have the right information. And then number three is the right people. So ask yourself, out of the people that I hang out with, are they individuals that, one, understand where I'm at in my journey through experience? Number two, do they believe in my dream more than I believe in it myself? Meaning that when I doubt myself, when I'm at my lowest, they're always going to still push me towards this dream of becoming a physical therapist instead of telling me to find a plan B. Y'all, that's how you start filtering through the right people. Do I have the right mindset? Do I have the right information? And do I have the right people? If you can do that while building your competence level, while constantly asking yourself, how am I going to keep the promises that I make to myself, then you will become a much more confident applicant. You will be able to show up as the best version of yourself. And when that happens, man, it's only a matter of time before you're sitting in in whatever dream PT program you want to be in. It's only a matter of time before you are in a clinic or a hospital or wherever else as a physical therapist. Because as I said before, confidence affects how you show up. And when you show up as the best version of you, things have no option but to just work out in your favor. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Now, if you're like, hey, how can I learn more of those things? How can I learn to become a much more competent applicant? Well, you're in luck because we do a training where we teach you a lot of this stuff. So we have one coming up soon. Go to www.leveluptheprept.com. And what we do is in 90 minutes, we teach you what we have used for the 500 plus students that we have privately coached and what they did differently to get into PT school despite struggling with confidence, despite all the other obstacles that we face as students. And so if you want to learn that in order to increase your competence level, then go to leveluptheprept.com and we got you covered and we'll see you there. So hope that was helpful. If this was valuable, share it with a friend. And then of course, we'll see you on the next training. Have a good one. Bye.